Welcome to Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking is celebrating our 20th anniversary of bringing you the Gulf Coast's finest chefs cooking their delicious recipes with natural gas. This show is brought to you by Pensacola Energy. Clean, efficient, natural gas. And now, Coastal Cooking.
My guest today is Executive Chef Matthew Brown from the Fish House.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We are so happy to have you, and you've got 3 delicious dishes for us today.
Yes, I do. And I'd like to start off maybe with a salad.
Okay.
Move into a couple of entrees.
Sounds good. Tell us about the salad.
Salad's a very nice and clean salad. It's very easy to make. It's got a limited amount of ingredients, but it uses the ingredients to make the salad. So it's not a heavy salad. It's very light and good for a pre-meal.
It looks healthy. I can't wait. Let's get started.
Okay. First of all, we need to take our oranges. In order to segment an orange, you can do it a lot like an apple. You can just peel it. Peeling the orange, get to the segments, and you just go down the rib, and you can pull out the segments.
With no membrane.
No
How
membrane.
About that?
I like to use the fresh oranges. The canned oranges, you can use the mandarin oranges, but really doesn't have the flavor, and they've been sitting in juices, and it's really important to kind of use the fresh. It's just better for you.
Right. It sure helps if you have a sharp knife for this too, doesn't
The
it?
sharp knife works. Serrated knife works very well, and it just gets in there, and once you get in there, it just kind of peels off. There we go. Okay, so we have our orange segments. This is going to provide sweetness, a little bit of acid. It's also going to kind of bring the whole salad together. We've got different aspects of the salad that really help bring it together. We've got the walnuts, which will bring out crunch, but also kind of flatten the acid out a little bit. We've got the sweetness of the white raisins, and we've got the kind of pungent, maybe a little crunchiness of the beets. Beets are very healthy, so always try to sneak them into a salad whenever I can. Today I've got a wonderful walnut vinaigrette, which we have as our house dressing at the Fish House. It is a vinaigrette that uses walnuts, Parmesan, just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and some extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, that sounds good. And what type of green are you using today?
I like to use arugula. Arugula is one of my favorites. It has a pepperiness to it. It has a flavor. A lot of the salad mixes and salads and lettuce that you can get have a flavor, but it's a little watered down. It's not a great representation of the kind of greens you can get. Arugula offers a fantastic peppery flavor to it. You want to get a good bit of arugula. I say for one person, I always do about 1 handful or about 1 cup of arugula.
Okay.
We want to add the dressing last. The dressing will start to break down the lettuce, so we always want to do that one last.
Okay, that's important then. I've seen people, wet their greens with the dressing.
It's very nice to add it last because you want it to coat the lettuce, but you don't want it to start breaking down the lettuce, which it will do quite rapidly. We have some walnuts. We have some white raisins, and I like to use the white raisins because they're a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
Okay, and we have
Our
the orange segments. The beets I like to add last. They're a beautiful garnish. Put them on top. It brings the salad together. We've got these wonderful colors. So I do like to put the beets on last so people can see them. A little bit of the walnut vinaigrette. Like so, we want to add some of it, but we don't want to make a soup. We're just making a wonderful little salad.
Just enough, huh?
Now, if your vinaigrette has a lot of flavor to it, which it should, you don't have to put a lot on there. It doesn't have to be heavy. You can have a simple vinaigrette with lemon, olive oil, and salt, and you only need a few drops to really make a beautiful salad. I have a plate.
look how quick and easy this is.
It's very quick, very easy. It relies on the flavors of the ingredients and not necessarily the vinaigrette. Salads shouldn't be painful to eat. You shouldn't hate this course. You should put things in the salad that you want to eat. You want walnuts. You want some sweetness. But you don't necessarily want to drown it in vinaigrette. The vinaigrette's important, but it shouldn't be why you're having a salad.
Okay.
The salad should be for healthiness.
Oh, look at this.
It should be for starting the meal. It should be for getting the palate ready for a wonderful meal.
Well, this looks like the start. This, add a protein and you've got an entree.
Add a protein. If you want to put a little shrimp on there, so let's say you have some shrimp left over from one of our entrees, you can put it on top and make a fantastic little salad. It's great for lunch. If you have a little chicken or a little fish left over, absolutely right on top.
Very nice. Let's talk about the dimensions of this salad. I know you chefs, you take in all the aspects of, color, height, textures, all of that.
There is a science behind the experience. The customer, our guest is coming in and they want an experience. What we try to do is we try to offer an experience. So we do put a lot of thought process behind the salad and behind all of our dishes. But this particular salad, you've got the sweetness of the white raisin. It's in there. It's a small matrix. It's part of the salad. You've got the walnuts, which toasted bring out a wonderful flavor, but also add a little bit of crunch to it and a little bit of flatness. So it kind of mellows it out every bite. The beets, you can roast whole beets and you can cut them up and you can put them in the salad, but you will find that you will eat salad and then you'll chew on a beet and then you'll eat salad and chew on a beet. What I like to do is for a salad, I like to have all the ingredients kind of the same size, kind of mimic each other so that when you're enjoying the salad, you're enjoying the entire salad, not pieces. Salad should not be a puzzle. Yeah. It should be a wonderful combination of ingredients.
Well, this looks like a wonderful combination, and I love how you did the beets on a...
We have a horizontal mandolin that...
I knew I would never get that right.
That it has a razor blade and then a bunch of little razor blades, and when we spin it through, it spits out beautiful shoestrings on the other side. It works very well on the harder vegetables, root vegetables that you'd like to eat, but you don't really want to go through the prep time.
Right.
Beets, you can string them, put a little salt on them, put a little sugar on them, let them sit in the refrigerator for half an hour, and they are cooked. They are tender. They still have their crunch. They still have all their flavor. They haven't lost any of their nutrients. And they're absolutely edible.
Well, there's
beautiful.
our perfect salad from the fish house, and look how colorful it is. Beautiful. We're going to put this right up here because when we come back from our commercial break, we've got a special entree.
We do. We're going to go with a fantastic grouper dish with fingerling potatoes, sauteed squash, a little bit more arugula in case you buy too much, and some little grape tomatoes.
Oh, it sounds so good. Be sure and stay with us. You don't want to miss that special dish from the fish house. We'll be right back.
Heat pumps don't pump much heat. In fact, heat from an efficient natural gas heater can be 30% warmer, and you can get up to an $800 rebate when you install one. Warming up to natural gas yet? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
Did you know that BTU for BTU natural gas can be up to 50% cheaper than electricity? And did you know Pensacola Energy is offering rebates up to $1,000 when you switch from an electric water heater to natural gas? In the end, it's your money. You can put it in your pocket, or you can watch it go down the drain. Contact Pensacola Energy to learn how you can start saving now.
Heating water with electricity versus natural gas can cost twice as much, and tankless natural gas water heaters can add even more savings. So don't get soaked with higher energy costs. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
We're cooking with Executive Chef Matthew Brown from the Fish House today, and tell us about our next dish.
Our next dish, we have this wonderful, beautiful fillet of grouper, and we're going to sear it off in the pan. We're going to get a little crispiness, get a little color on top of it, and then we're going to add some of our fingerling potatoes, some of our nice crookneck squash, some grape tomatoes, and finish with just a little bit of arugula just to give it a nice little body to it. And it's a very clean, beautiful dish that you can easily do at home with one pan, maybe two.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay, beautiful grouper fillet. Too.
It is a beautiful grouper fillet. I like to start with a medium to high pan for the grouper. When the oil starts to ribbon a little bit, it's getting there.
Okay.
Now your fish should be dense but not breaking apart. You want good cell structure. It should smell like popcorn.
Popcorn?
Popcorn. Beautiful fish smells like
popcorn.
popcorn.
I knew it just wasn't supposed to smell fishy, but
That's
it does smell
ammonia.
like popcorn.
And whenever you get fish, it's ammonia. A lot of fattier fish, a lot of cold water fish will have a lot of the blood in there and a lot of the flavor.
Okay.
There we go. Give it a little movement.
Just that flame right where you want it, right?
It's just that flame. You know, what's beautiful about cooking with gas, and I use gas at home, I use gas at Fish House, is gas is easy to control. It doesn't have to be all the way open all the time. But how fast it heats up and the consistency it's just better.
That's right.
The new electric ones with the ceramic tops make me really nervous. You know,
Well, you just never know where things really are.
well, you got these heavy pans sitting on top of glass.
Yeah.
All right, the squash. The squash is a gorgeous little vegetable, but it does have these seeds. These seeds are full of water and will typically slow down your cooking method when you're sauteing, because the first thing they want to do is release their water.
Okay.
So what you should do is I cut mine into thirds so we have a very even amount. No matter how big the squash is, it's very even. And you just run your blade down, and you keep the good part. And once these seeds are gone, you'll find that the squash will cook and get a nice browning to it without boiling, because that's the thing you want to avoid when you're doing sautés. You want to avoid boiling your vegetables, and you can do that with too low of a pan, or you can do that with adding too much water.
We're learning all kind of good tips today.
You know, I like people to go home and be able to cook. It is a natural thing to be able to cook. It is something that people want to do. They want to provide for people. And it makes for great little parties to be able to.
It's a social event.
It's a social event.
It really is.
And that's why I enjoy it. And that's kind of why I got into cooking, is because it's multicultural. It brings people together. Everyone has to eat. So it's a good idea to be able to bring everyone together. And I do that through cooking.
And we're glad you do it at the Fish House.
And I do it at the Fish House. All right, pull some waste there. The tomatoes. Tomatoes, I always give them a little bit of help when they're cooking, so I'll cut them in half. Now this does take a little bit of practice. You can cut them one by one, which is fine.
Which is what I would do.
Or you can just go down
Oh, look at that.
and split them all at once.
See what I mean? There's another good tip.
So, and you can use two small coffee saucers, put them in between, zip them right through.
Saves your hand, right?
Saves your hand,
There you go.
but I am a professional, so don't try that at home. Fish is browning beautifully. It's not sticking because we used a little bit of oil, not a whole lot. So we also made sure the pan was hot enough. Putting the fish in a cold pan, you're going to boil your fish.
Yep. Not a good product. Not as good as this is going to be.
You won't get the beautiful color that you're looking for.
And you add your oil after your pan is heated.
Yes, absolutely. The oil needs to be hot and your fish needs to be cold.
Okay.
The idea between sauté, it's a French word that means to jump. And the idea is if you put something of two different temperatures in the same pan, it will jump.
Okay.
It will not actually stick to the pan. Now these fingerling potatoes I've gone ahead and blanched off. I like to keep my potatoes about 85% cooked. It keeps the density of the potato, but it doesn't overcook it, doesn't become mashed. So if you want to make breakfast potatoes, if you'd like to make some hash browns, cooking to 85% really is the way to go. If overcooking it, you'll know instantly you've overcooked them. They will tend to get a little mushy.
And they cook about the same time as your other ingredients because they're not raw, right?
Absolutely. Fish is coming along beautifully, nice and tender. Beautiful.
That's great.
Okay. And we have our arugula. We've used this. And a lot of times you can't buy arugula in small portions. These are kind of the basics that I like to have in my fridge because I can make 100 dishes just based on this. And I typically do. All right, the fish. We got this beautiful grouper that is amazing color.
Oh, that
Cooked
is
about
lovely.
85, 90% through. And you've got all this pan, and you've got this beautiful caramelization from the fish. And now you want to put in your potatoes.
And you put nothing on this fish but
Salt and pepper.
salt and pepper, and that's it.
Well, I like to taste the fish. If you've got a pretty fish, if you've got a decent fish, and you've done your research and you know what kind of fish you like, enjoy the fish. I mean, that fish is yours.
That's right.
This is your fish. Let's eat the fish. If we want to eat the seasoning, you could go with a less expensive fish, maybe something that is a little bit more cost effective, but if you really want a nice fish, a nice fillet fish, you want to taste the fish. A little salt and pepper is fine. Like I said, a lot of what I like to do at Bus Fish House, at my house, when people ask me, is I let the ingredients talk for themselves. We've got the starch from the potatoes. We've got the sweetness from the tomatoes, and we've got this wonderful little crunch from our squash. Now the tomatoes are going to break down and kind of create our sauce, almost like a ragu.
Okay.
So you've got the potatoes, which are starting to color nicely. And I like to move those off to the side and let them keep going. The squash goes in next. And without the seeds, the squash will caramelize a little bit faster and bring out a lot more color. Again, what you're doing is you're trying to bring all the flavors together and have them talk to each other. It's important that in a one-pan dish that you're not adding things that don't make sense. The tomatoes will go in last because they take the quickest time to cook.
Okay.
A little salt and pepper.
This is a quick dish too, Matthew, and honestly, it's low fat.
It's low fat.
It does not, like you said, it's got clean, healthy ingredients in it.
And if you wanted to go for even a less starch, say if you're watching your calories or watching your starch intake, you can go with sweet potato. Sweet potato's fine.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It is also very tasty. Now, the tomatoes, they're going to start breaking down. They're going to start breaking down. They're going to start mixing with everything, making everything kind of talk to each other. And that's kind of important, is you don't want to overcook your vegetables or your ingredients.
Well, then they're mushy.
You don't want them mushy. Unless you prefer them mushy, then please, by all means, cook them. I like to have the ingredients in front of me on my plate. I like to know what I'm looking at, but I also like the ingredients to be able to melt together, and I keep saying talk to each other because they really do have to communicate on a flavor level, on a profile level, even on a matrix level. Now we have the tomatoes kind of breaking down. The water from the tomatoes is pulling up all the color.
Looks great. You know what? We're going to take a commercial break right here. We'll have this finished when we get back. Sound good?
Fantastic.
All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
Cooking with natural gas is more controlled than using an electric range. But more importantly, they're less expensive to operate. Don't get burned with electric. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com. Natural gas dryers may cost a little more than electric ones, but they dry clothes quicker, making them cost half as much to run. So now who's getting taken to the cleaners? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
We're back, and we're going to add the finishing touches to our beautiful fish dish.
To finish our plate, we put in the arugula. We toss it a few times just to wilt it. You don't want to cook the arugula too much. We've got a little bit of parsley for color and a little freshness, and there you go.
There you go, is right. Isn't that exquisite? I love it.
Absolutely.
What's our next dish? It's got a seafood.
The next dish, we're using shrimp, a lot of heat, and it's called shrimp Fra Diavolo. It literally translates to brother of the devil.
Wow.
Now we have to say that there's a difference between spicy and hot. You can have a dish that's spicy, but that's not hot. Now this dish has an insane amount of garlic, chili flakes, all the fun stuff that you would associate with heat, but it is not hot. It is just spicy. This dish is fantastic with a lovely white wine, something that can take the heat. We've got our jumbo shrimp, and when picking out shrimp, you want to look for a nice, shiny, opaque color. You don't want to. You want to get anything that looks like it's not shining. A little foggy shrimp.
Not good.
Not so much. Now, shrimp cooks very fast. You don't want to really overcook your shrimp. You want to still have a pop. So what I like to do is I like to put it in a hot pan and get one side going. And once one side starts to get a little color to it, flip them over, start adding our ingredients. Got a little bit of shallots. Shallot's gonna add a little sweetness to it. Shallot is it's similar to a flavor of a red onion without the bite.
Yeah. It's mild.
It's mild. Garlic, almost a full 2 ounces of garlic.
Ooh, a lot of garlic.
A lot of garlic. Right about now, people are starting to cringe.
They ain't seen nothing yet, right?
Nothing. You want to start cooking that garlic, but you have to make sure you don't burn the garlic. Garlic gets spicier, hotter, and bitter when it starts to overcook. You can get a sweetness to garlic, but anything over, and you will
not good.
You will not be happy with your results. You want to coat the shrimp. Okay. Now, I have a little bit of chili flake. When I say a little bit of chili flake, I'm thinking about a full tablespoon.
Okay.
Okay, we've got the shrimp just loving all the spices, a little salt and pepper. Okay, the smell is really starting to pick up. So it's time for our water.
Oh, we get to see you do this again.
The tomato will actually start to slow the cooking a little bit. So if you want to cook the garlic, and you get to a point where you're like, all right, the garlic's perfect. Tomato, start to slow it down a little bit.
This is another one-pan dish, isn't it?
I love the one-pan dishes. It's good for home. It's good for family. It's good if, say you're living alone and you want something fantastic, you want to show off. This is one of the dishes you can serve. Now I've got white wine. White wine is going to be a good part of the base of this sauce. White wine is going to stop the cooking of everything.
Add a lot of good flavor. Is that a dry white wine?
It is a dry white wine. I tell people that they don't really want to get the cooking wine. The cooking wine has sodium in it. It's not very tasty, and please stop doing that. But if you want to add wine, you can use a cheap wine, a Chablis, or even a dry one. The sweet wines will tend to affect your dish. Really, a lot of what you're trying to get out of your wine when you cook is a little bit of the acid. And you know what? I really like butter. A little bit of the acid and a little bit of the lemon sweetness to it.
Okay, while you finish this up, I'm going to give everyone our telephone number.
Absolutely.
If you would like written copies of today's recipes, you can call Pensacola Energy at 436-5050, or you can visit our website at www.coastalcooking.com.
Parsley's been added. Gives a nice color,
Now look at that.
a little freshness. I'd say the juice
Perfect.
of one lemon.
Perfect way to squeeze the lemon.
Perfect way, give it a little mix. We've got our linguine. Linguine goes great with this dish because it absorbs all of the liquid. Now, I don't like to heat up my pasta ahead of time because I like the pasta to absorb all the sauce. And you start to get this wonderful little plate. As you can smell and see, all the garlic and chili flakes we put in there, still in there, still have this fantastic smell. So now you got all these shrimp that have been coated in the seasoning.
What a dish.
Right on top.
And top it with some Parmesan.
I always like to top it with a little Parmesan. And this is Fra Diavolo.
Oh, it looks great. Well, Matthew, this has been so much fun. We want to tell all of our viewers where, of course, the Fish House is located, in case they don't know, and your hours.
It's on 600 South Barrack Street. Our hours are from 11 a.m. to about 10 p.m. on weekdays. The bar is open until people leave.
And there's the Atlas
There. We have the Atlas Oyster Bar where we pride ourselves on our oysters. We get the biggest ones we can find. We scour the nation or the Gulf looking for the best oysters, and we pop them to order.
Yeah.
And they're just beautiful.
And the deck bar?
Deck bar is a fantastic bar that overlooks the bay. They can have a couple of nice beverages, and during ladies' night on Wednesday, it's $2 beverages. You call them, and so whatever your beverage of choice is, $2.
It's yours.
The live bands out there are really, really fantastic. We find ourselves kind of going out there and listening along.
It is such a popular spot. It's just
Something
the
for
indoor
everybody.
and outdoor dining. The fall and spring, it's just perfect. Perfect for outdoors.
It's something for everyone.
It sure is. Well, this has been something for everyone. We've got 3 great dishes here from the Fish House. Compliments of Executive Chef Matthew Brown. You will have to come back.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for fixing me up these beautiful dishes today.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you again next Sunday with more Coastal Cooking.
This has been Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, clean, efficient natural gas. Join us each Sunday at 6 p.m. for more Coastal Cooking.